Hey y'all, Sarah Madras here, founder of Esteem Builders Coaching, where I am on a mission to ignite a cultural revolution that fulfills the human need for human truthful connection and belonging. Now, how do I do this? I do this by teaching you the skills to have healthy and happy relationships with people, with your spouse, with your family members, at work, so there's no more drama, so that you can finally have happy and successful relationships. So today I'm going to be talking about SFD. Do you have SFD? So if you've never heard of SFD, it stands for Shitty First Draft, or if you're talking to your kids, it's Stormy First Draft. So this comes from the amazing work of researcher Brene Brown. If you have never heard of her before, look her up, become a fan, and get on the train because it is a good one. So Brene has done like over a decade of research and interviews with people and has come to find out and put words to things that we've been thinking. And one of the things is how, as humans, we need to create stories around things. Like our brain instantaneously creates stories around things that we see. And just recently, I posted a picture on Facebook about a weekend trip to the beach with my girlfriends. And we're sitting there on the beach, and next to us is a group of people, in their 30s or 40s. And it was 6 guys and 6 girls. And the guys got up and took their chairs down to the beach and were sitting in the water while the girls were up by us on the sand. And, throughout the day, guys would raise their beer into the air and hold it there until one of the girls picked up the cooler and brought it down to them in the water, took a beer out, got them a new beer, and then we'll walk back up. So when I saw this, I automatically created a story in my head. And our stories help us make sense of things. It gives us this sense of control and meaning and like, ooh, I figured it out. And so that let us know how we can proceed. And I created this story in my head of who the hell do these guys think they are sitting down there on their little behinds, raising their hand all entitled for their little woman to drag the cooler down there and get them a fresh beer. Like I was like, what? And I was like, ladies, you are setting us back centuries by going down there and reinforcing this behavior. That is the story I created in my mind. My friend sitting right next to me, she was like, maybe they lost a bet. She's like, maybe they are, college friends who get together every year and they were playing cards last night and the girls lost the bet. And so now they have to bring the guys beer today. And maybe the guys, when they lose, they have to bring the girls beer. And I was like, oh, her story is so much nicer and less judgmental than mine. But that's what we do. We create these shitty first drafts. Like my first draft of that situation was shitty. I was judging the hell out of them and getting my feathers all ruffled. I was like, who do these men think they are, all entitled, sitting down there, snapping their fingers, asking for another beer. And the same exact situation, just a different set of eyes and a different perspective, she looked at it and she was like, I bet you they lost a bet. I bet you that's why they're having to bring them beers all day today at the beach. Now, we don't know which one of these drafts of the story is true. We didn't check in with the ladies. We didn't see what was actually happening. But that's what we do as humans. We create a shitty first draft so that we can have meaning around things, so that we can put a pretty little box around it and have it make sense. So how often do you make a shitty first draft that's judgmental like I did? Like I totally made, those guys could be the nicest guy in the world. Like they could be awesome husbands who dote on their wives. And because I saw this one interaction, I was judging them and creating this shitty first draft based on these assumptions that I was making. So we all have SFD. We do it automatically. It's just a matter of becoming aware of it and catching ourselves and then checking in for the truth. Because when we do this in our own interactions, if we do this at work and we see a coworker and we're like, oh, hey, how was your weekend? and they're like, we can be like, oh, what did I do to piss them off? They're mad at me. Did I forget to turn in, a project and that's why they're upset? When maybe they were just looking at their phone and they didn't hear you, or they were distracted, or they just got a bad phone call from somebody. Like, it could be a million things. But we create this first draft story in order to make sense out of it so that we feel safe and secure and so that we know what our next move should be. So ask yourself, where in your life do you create shitty first drafts? Because you do have an SFD. Just own it. We all own it. Like, we all do it, so just own it, that I have an SFD all the time. And then catch yourself doing it and check in and be like, hey, is this a fact or is this an assumption I'm making? Am I coming to conclusions and have all these, conspiracy theories running along in my head? So own your SFD and then rewrite it. Rewrite it with the facts. Rewrite it when you check in and you go, oh, that coworker wasn't upset with me. It's nothing I did. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a crappy friend. I don't suck as a coworker. It's, oh, they were having a bad day and they just got some bad news. How can I be a supportive coworker to them and help out and maybe pick up some slack on the team? So check in with yourself and own your SFD and then rewrite the ending so that it's strong and powerful and empowering to you so that you're no longer a victim to those stories. All right, that's all for today.